Good morning, my dear friends in Christ. From the readings of this second Sunday of Lent, two things stand out. Number one, true faith in God can never deceive us. Two, there are joys and blessings that come with faith in and obedience to God. Number one, true faith in God can never deceive us. The delicate text from God requesting Abraham to offer Isaac, his source of happiness and fulfillment, as a holocaust, shows the total self-giving and faith God expects from us. He is a jealous God who does not want anything less. This was why he tested Abraham with his most precious and valuable son. This test, humanly speaking, is a type that can destroy any home or make one doubt the sincerity of God's love for him. Abraham was able to overcome this because of what he knew about God, who made him somebody when he was nobody, and proved to him that he could change the course of nature for anyone he loved. Just look at it. He called him from nothing and blessed him. He entered into a covenant relationship with him, where he, God, had to do everything. Abraham had nothing to do. And he has started fulfilling this covenant with the birth of Isaac in Abraham's old age. With these, Abraham had always seen himself as nothing without God and everything with God. This is why St. Paul, in the second reading of today, wants us to understand that if God is for us, no one and nothing can be against us. If at all, it cannot succeed, all because God has got our back. It was with these convictions that Abraham willingly accepted to offer up his son. So for us, the question is there anything that we could lose in our lives, human or material, that will make us lose our faith in God? On the other hand, what sacrifices are we making or are willing to make for our faith in God and obedience to Him? These are some questions worth considering this Lent, leaning on Abraham's experience. Remember, Abraham accepted to obey God and offer up his son, not because of anything material or anything attached, but because of his faith in God and the belief that God always has the best plans for him. Number two, there are joys and blessings that come with faith in and obedience to God. As we heard from the first reading, the test of Abraham's faith ended with joy and blessings. Having proved his faith in God and shown obedience to his words, God provided Abraham with an alternative for the sacrifice. God went further to reconfirm his earlier covenant promises to him. This is a reward of faithfulness and obedience to God, and our case cannot be any different if we act like Abraham. Relating this to the gospel of today, the transfiguration of Christ, the voice from heaven presents Jesus to the three apostles and to us as the fulfillment of God's covenant promises to save us, urging us to listen to Christ as Abraham did listen to God. The transfiguration of Christ and the appearance of Moses and Elijah point to the fact that the joy and blessings we experience here on earth are only pointers to the real blessedness and glory that God has prepared for us in heaven. That was why when Peter suggested that they remained on the mountain because of the glimpse of God's glory they felt, the glory vanished, leaving them with only Jesus and the command to listen to him. The appearance of Moses, the greatest lawgiver, and Elijah, the greatest prophet in glory, gives credence to the call to listen and obey Christ, who came to fulfill the law and the prophets and to complete the missions of Moses and Elijah. It also shows us how we shall share in the glory of Christ at the end of our lives if we remain faithful to God to the end. Wait a moment. How did Peter, James, and John recognize Moses and Elijah, who had died many years before they were born in a non-technological age? They couldn't have Googled it. There was none then. It can only be through divine revelation. God was using the experience to prepare them for the scandal of the cross and any other thing that may shake their faith in him. The same goes for us. In conclusion, my dear friends in Christ, Abraham remains an eternal example of how our faithfulness and obedience to God brings us so many blessings from God. Remember the hymn, Abraham's blessings are mine, which we sing every day. His blessing will be ours if we act like him. Also, the experience of Peter, James, and John at Christ's transfiguration is an eternal pointer to the glory of heaven. With these encouragements in our journey of faith, we will overcome the complex temptations that challenge our faith in our world of today, and so earn eternal glory with Christ. God's grace is very much available this Lent to help us. May God bless us all. Thank you.